Today, we're diving deep into a question that's on many minds. Is America under attack? This is a claim raised by Mark Levin, a prominent conservative commentator and author. Levin has voiced concerns about the nation's stability, values, and future, warning that the foundations of American society are at risk. But are his claims justified, or are they simply meant to provoke? In this video, we'll explore Levin's controversial arguments, analyze the evidence he presents, and consider why his ideas have sparked intense debate. Who is Mark Levin? Mark Levin is a conservative political commentator, lawyer, and best-selling author known for his outspoken views on politics and governance. His popular radio show, The Mark Levin Show, and his Fox News program, Life, Liberty, and Levin, have given him a platform to share his opinions with millions of Americans. Levin's style is known for being direct, sometimes combative, and always unfiltered. But beyond the personality, Levin has a deeply rooted concern for the direction he believes the country is heading. In recent years, Levin has claimed that America is under attack, not by foreign adversaries, but from within. He warns of a gradual, systematic dismantling of core American values and institutions by what he calls a leftist agenda. While these statements resonate with his audience, they also face strong opposition, making Levin one of the most polarizing figures in modern media. Levin's core argument, America under attack. Mark Levin's primary argument revolves around the notion that America is being attacked ideologically and culturally. He suggests that traditional American values, such as freedom of speech, the rule of law, and individual liberties, are under siege. According to Levin, these values are threatened by a push towards socialism, the erosion of family structures, and a growing disdain for American history and exceptionalism. Levin claims that these attacks are not random, but are part of a calculated effort by certain ideological factions to fundamentally transform the nation. He believes that progressive policies and cultural changes are stripping away the principles that made America unique, aiming instead to reshape it into something unrecognizable. This claim, however, has raised questions and objections from those who see his argument as hyperbolic. The role of progressive politics. A key part of Levin's argument focuses on progressive politics. He argues that policies such as universal health care, extensive welfare programs, and increased government regulation are all signs of an impending socialist state. Levin is particularly vocal about the dangers of socialism, which he believes is incompatible with the values of freedom and individual responsibility that define America. He suggests that through these policies, the government gains too much control over citizens' lives. In Levin's eyes, progressive leaders advocate for policies that expand the role of the government in ways that strip Americans of their autonomy. He warns that this shift could eventually lead to a loss of freedoms that Americans take for granted. The media's influence. Levin also claims that mainstream media plays a crucial role in what he describes as the attack on America. He believes that major news networks, social media platforms, and other media outlets work to promote progressive agendas while silencing conservative voices. According to Levin, there's a distinct bias in media that misrepresents conservative views and shapes public opinion in favor of left-leaning policies. Levin argues that media control over information dissemination has led to a culture of misinformation. He accuses the media of creating a narrative that demonizes traditional values and those who defend them. In his view, this has a chilling effect on free speech, as people are afraid to speak their minds due to fear of backlash or cancel culture. Cultural shifts and cancel culture. Another major point Levin raises is the rise of cancel culture. He argues that cancel culture silences dissent and intimidates individuals from expressing their opinions, particularly if they hold conservative views. Levin suggests that cancel culture has become a tool to suppress freedom of speech and that it's weaponized to stifle any opposition to progressive ideologies. Levin also discusses how cultural shifts have redefined what is acceptable to say and believe. He points out that ideas once seen as universally acceptable, like patriotism, respect for the military, and the value of hard work, are now questioned or even vilified. He sees these shifts as an assault on the nation's core values, and he warns that cancel culture is a way to enforce a new set of values through social pressure. Education and indoctrination. A significant part of Levin's argument centers on the American education system, which he claims is being used to indoctrinate young minds. Levin argues that many schools and universities promote progressive ideologies, teaching students to reject traditional American values. He claims that concepts like critical race theory, CRT, social justice, and woke ideologies are being integrated into curriculums, leading young people to question or even despise the values that have historically defined America. Levin believes that this shift in education isn't just about expanding students' perspectives, it's about reshaping their entire worldview to align with progressive ideology. He warns that this indoctrination could lead to a generation of Americans who view their country as flawed, oppressive, and in need of fundamental change. Erosion of law and order. Mark Levin has also expressed concern about what he sees as a deliberate erosion of law and order in America. He points to movements that advocate for defunding the police and soft-on-crime policies as evidence that the rule of law is being undermined. Levin argues that this approach doesn't just endanger public safety, but also weakens one of the fundamental pillars of society. Levin suggests that by pushing for lenient criminal justice policies and defunding law enforcement, progressives are encouraging chaos and instability. He believes that this is part of a broader strategy to dismantle existing institutions and rebuild society according to a new progressive vision. Levin's solution. In response to what he perceives as an attack on America, Levin encourages citizens to stand up for their values. He calls on Americans to get involved in politics, to vote, and to support leaders who prioritize individual freedoms and limited government. Levin believes that through civic engagement, Americans can counter the ideological shift that he believes is endangering the country. He also urges his audience to support independent media sources, resist cancel culture, and defend free speech. Levin's message is one of empowerment. He believes that Americans have the tools to fight back against what he describes as an attack on their country. By taking an active role in public life, he argues, Americans can help preserve the values that define their nation. Counterarguments and criticisms. Mark Levin's perspectives have sparked significant debate, and they are not embraced by everyone. Detractors contend that his assertions are often exaggerated, polarizing, and excessively alarmist. They argue that Levin misrepresents progressive policies, suggesting that these initiatives are not attacks on American values. Instead, critics maintain that such policies aim to combat inequality and enhance access to essential resources, rather than eroding fundamental principles. Additionally, some opponents challenge Levin's views on the media and the phenomenon of cancel culture. They argue that the media landscape is more nuanced and balanced than he portrays. Furthermore, critics of cancel culture assert that it primarily serves as a mechanism for accountability rather than outright censorship. They emphasize that while individuals have the right to express their opinions, they should also be prepared to face public reactions and the consequences of their statements. This dialogue surrounding Levin's claims highlights a broader conversation about the direction of American society and the implications of progressive policies. While Levin's supporters view his arguments as a call to defend traditional values, his critics see them as an unnecessary alarm that mischaracterizes the intentions behind progressive reforms. This ongoing debate underscores the complexity of contemporary political discourse, where differing perspectives shape the narrative around issues of equality, freedom of speech, and societal values. As the conversation evolves, it is crucial to examine the underlying motivations behind these differing viewpoints. Levin's assertions resonate with those who feel threatened by the changes in cultural norms and governance. Conversely, critics point to the necessity of adapting to new realities and addressing historical injustices as essential to a more equitable society. The contention between these two perspectives is indicative of the broader societal struggle to define what constitutes American identity in an ever-changing landscape. Moreover, the discussion around media representation and cancel culture adds another layer to this discourse. Proponents of Levin's viewpoint may feel that the media has an inherent bias that undermines conservative voices, while others argue that this perspective fails to acknowledge the complexities of media dynamics in a pluralistic society. The notion of accountability in the context of cancel culture raises questions about the balance between free expression and the societal obligation to challenge harmful rhetoric. Final thoughts. Mark Levin's assertion that America is under attack raises important questions about the direction of the nation and its values. While many find his warnings compelling, others see them as polarizing. Regardless of where one stands, Levin's arguments tap into concerns that many Americans have about the future. Is America really under attack, as Mark Levin claims? That's a question only each individual can answer based on their perspective and values. What is clear, however, is that the country is facing complex challenges, and Levin's ideas encourage all Americans to think deeply about the principles they hold dear and the kind of future they envision. As always, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a conversation about the future of America, our values, and the kind of nation we want to be. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more content.